Hey everybody, I'm here with Tammra. This is our first meeting. She asked to have this recorded. She wants to share her keto journey out with her followers and all of you guys.
Hi.
All right, so I know you have dabbled or done keto before, right?
Yes. Not
Okay.
sure if I did it correctly or whatever, but got very little results, but changed my health maybe a little bit.
Yeah. Now, I do want to say that there's no such thing as doing keto right or wrong. Okay.
Okay.
In general, okay, there is such a thing as doing keto right for you and doing keto wrong for you. Okay. Another thing that I wanted to touch on real quick before we get going too far into the details. When you and I spoke and you decided to go ahead and become a client of Drgn Keto, you had said that it's time for you to drop the weight, right?
Yes. Once and for all.
Yes, and that is definitely a very positive byproduct. Okay. And that's kind of the first thing that I try to get everybody to understand is this lifestyle, this way of eating, this way of thinking about food, everything that I'm going to be showing you and sharing with you and teaching you has nothing to do with weight loss.
Okay.
Nothing to do with weight loss at all. The idea of weight loss needs to be far out of your mind. And the reason why is if you're focusing on the number on the scale, there's going to be a time, and depending on how much damage has been done to your body by the standard American diet, by the glucose and the gluten and the wheat and all the carbs, this time frame can be up to 3 or 4 months that you're not going to lose a pound.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
So the typical curve for keto is the first 2 or 3 weeks, you're going to drop weight like a mad person. I mean, just it's going to be crazy. Okay. But it's not fat. It's water. It's water and electrolytes. And so what happens when you eat a bunch of carbs, right? Your liver actually swells up, gets huge. Okay. Because it's storing water, it's storing glycogen, it's storing your salts and your magnesiums and your potassiums, because your liver knows that you're in a metabolism that isn't sustainable, right? So it stores all this stuff to release into your body as you need it. Okay. And what happens is as it stores, obviously your liver gets bigger, your belly distends because that's right where your liver is, right? And you hold, if you're like me, you hold like 30 pounds of water weight. Okay. I'm a big guy though. I mean, when I started this, I was 350 pounds at 6 foot tall.
Okay.
Yeah. So most people don't have 30 or 40 pounds of water weight like I did, but still, you're going to drop probably 10 pounds in a week, 2 weeks. Okay.
Okay.
But it's water weight. Okay. It's nothing. It's your body going, oh, I don't need to hold on to all this stuff, and it's going to flush. Okay. And after that, your body goes into a recovery period, a healing process. Okay. Now, the reason why I tell everybody not to worry about the number on the scale, in fact, I don't even like people having scales for at least the first 3 or 4 months of being on keto, but I understand that most people are wired to use that as the primary measuring point. Okay. But we're going to go over some of the other stuff that we're going to use for measuring points for you. But during this healing process, you're not going to lose any weight. Okay. The pounds are not going to come off. Okay. And if they do, it's going to be like 2 pounds a month, if that. Okay. What is going to happen is your body is going to start changing. Okay. Your measurements are going to start shrinking. Okay. Your body composition is going to start adjusting, which is one of the reasons why I had you get that the body composition scale. Okay, because those numbers you're going to start seeing change. Okay, the measurements you're going to start seeing change. And you have one of those garment measuring tapes.
Yes,
Like
I sew. So yeah, I have several.
Yeah, so you probably have 400 of them, right? Yeah. When you get that scale on Monday, you know, if it's is it one that has the app on your phone?
Yes, I made sure of that.
All right, great. So in that app, it's probably going to have a place for you to put in your actual physical measurements. Okay. And it's actually going to kind of walk you through where you're supposed to measure yourself. Okay. Because there are very specific places as a female that you're going to measure that are different than as a male I measure.
Right.
We're different.
Even when you're tailoring somebody, it's different for males and females. So yeah.
So you know, I'm glad that you have that experience. So that will actually help quite a bit. You know, when you are measuring yourself, you don't want to make it tight, but you don't want to be able to put your finger through the tape, you know.
Right.
I'm sure you got all that too. So, but your measurements is going to be your key measuring point, your key. Why can't I think of this word?
I don't know. Reference?
Yeah, I mean, reference point.
Yeah. So I do have a question.
Yeah.
Is age a factor?
It is, but not as much as you would think.
Okay.
Okay. Right. There are going to be certain things that you want to eat more of than, you know, somebody in their 20s, you know.
Right.
Dietary fiber, and specifically the sources of dietary fiber, are going to be far more important.
Okay.
You know, you're definitely going to want to stick more towards the natural sources of dietary fiber and not the laboratory made sources of dietary fiber. Basically, the more natural you could eat, the more clean you could eat, the better off you're going to do. Now, obviously, that is in a perfect world, but I mean, the whole point of our system here, the whole point of my system is when you start off, you're eating as clean as possible. Okay. And if you want to like reference the clean keto, the dirty keto, the, you know, those frames of reference that people use. Okay. You start off strict keto with this system here. Okay.
Okay.
It's not for it's like maybe a month, 2 months, right? Because that's not sustainable. In right. Real world, in real life, that's not sustainable. Okay. A lot of the people that I follow that have taught me a lot on YouTube, like Thomas DeLauer and Dr. Mike, and you know, several of those other people, you know, even Dr. Oz, they have such amazing information, but it's like, you do realize that this is real life, and not everybody has this boatload of money to go to Whole Foods and buy, you know, ultra, you know, organic everything. And, you know, we have jobs that we spend 8 to 10 hours a day at. We don't have time to come home and cook these elaborate meals, you know.
Right.
So we are starting off strict keto. Okay. Strict keto in the regard that we are making sure that everything is whole food. Okay. As much as possible, everything is whole food. Now, whether or not, you know, you order it or have a, you know, a food prep system deliver it, or you're making it yourself, it doesn't matter. As long as it is actual like whole food. So basically anything that you buy on the perimeter of the grocery store and not go into the middle aisles of the grocery store. In general, that's a good rule of thumb. Obviously, it depends on the grocery store and stuff.
Right.
And, you know, you definitely want to stay away from the high processed lunch meats and stuff like that. But yeah, and then basically we're just using strict keto to get your body into ketosis and start the process. We need to start that healing process as fast as possible. You know?
Okay.
And we want to start the process of getting your body keto adapted or fat adapted.
Okay.
At a minimum, I would say 1 month, preferably stick to that for about 2 months. And then after that, that's where my system really starts taking hold. Okay. That's when we start experimenting with other foods. Okay. We start off with the foods that we know, the very, very, very super high chance that you're not going to have bad reactions. And these foods are going to do exactly what we want them to do in your body. Okay. But like I said, it's strict. It's not sustainable. It's not real life. Okay. So after that 1 or 2 months, we're going to start introducing some of the other things. Okay. We're going to start introducing, sugar alcohols, maybe some of the sweetener alternatives. We'll test to see how sucralose works in your body. We'll test to see how
no sucralose. My body doesn't react very well to that.
Okay, and that's great. If you already know that, that's perfect. Okay, but no, like we'll start seeing if carrots spike your blood sugar. Okay, we'll start seeing if onions spike your blood sugar. Okay,
got it.
There's a lot of products out there like Quest makes keto tortilla chips, right? So right now, keto has become so popular that there's a lot of companies trying to, make their fair share of the profits that are out there.
Right.
And a lot of them are absolute garbage. But some of them, some of them are actually okay, and the only way we're going to know if they're okay for us or not is to try them, see how it makes us feel, see what it does to our blood glucose, see what it does to our ketones, right? And make the judgment from there. Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah. So my system is very much we're going to test one food item at a time. Okay. And when we find out what works, you add it into your diet, right? You make the call whether or not it becomes a daily staple or a every once in a while thing. I'll definitely be able to let you know what my recommendation would be, right? Just based off of my experience with different products. But again, this is your journey. I'm here to facilitate it. Okay. So now that I've rambled on so much, I want to hear your experience. Okay. When you did this before, what was your experience? Tell me in your words what you think keto is and what this lifestyle is.
Okay. Well, when we started before, it was because my husband has a condition of the thyroid. So the doctor that we had at the time made us both do it. And I did see, when we were very strict, I did see changes. I lost a little bit of weight. I had more energy. And in March of this year, I started working a lot, as you know.
Yeah.
And in that situation, when there's food, you have to eat it or you're not going to be able to have the energy to do the job. So I started eating potatoes and all those things, peas, green peas, which I know are very high in carbs. But I do love vegetables. Fruit is not my thing. So that was the
That's
thing
perfect.
about, yeah.
Yeah.
My husband, on the other hand, he loves fruit and he doesn't like vegetables. So I don't know what he's going to do. But anyway, so
Berries.
because of not being strict and being, watching everything I've been eating since March of this year, I have started seeing my gut health like decline because I've
Yeah.
never had gut issues. But when you're eating all kinds of carbs and oils and stuff that aren't good for you, then, things kind of go sideways.
Yes.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah. So I know that strict keto is not sustainable, but I'm not sure if we were on strict keto. I mean, the doctor wanted us to eliminate sugar, grains, soy, caffeine to a certain extent, and I think that was it. But so yeah, I know I don't think I've ever been in ketosis. That's the one thing I could never figure out if I was ever in it or not. I didn't have the tools. Nobody said,
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
this
Hey, test it.
scale,
Yeah.
get this thing that you puff into to see
Yeah.
if you're in
So
ketosis.
I could tell you that when you said that you had more energy,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you were at least in a low level ketosis.
Okay.
Okay. Because if you were eliminating all these carbs and you still had energy, well, guess what? The only other place we get energy is from fat. Okay.
Yeah.
Or from the ketones that are created from the fat in your liver. Okay.
Okay.
So if you actually experienced higher energy levels and you were eating super low carbs, then you were definitely in at least some degree of ketosis at some point. Um,
Okay.
and I mean, there are ways to tell when you've hit ketosis without the meter. It's just a lot easier to have that number.
Right.
And I'm going to go ahead and let you know right now that the ketone meters,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be blood, whether it be urine sticks, whether it be breath, um, they're only accurate to a certain degree. Okay.
Right.
Um, I actually use them more as a baseline for you, right?
Okay.
When you breathe into your breath meter, okay. First off, not all breath meters actually measure the same way. The breath meter that I use actually measures acetone in parts per million. So, and then some of them will actually convert the parts per million into an estimate of your beta hydroxybutyrate in millimolars, right? Beta hydroxybutyrate is the ketone that's actually in the blood. That is a measure of how many ketones you currently have to use that are going through your system. Okay.
Okay.
Your blood meter is going to be your most accurate. Okay. But still, different meters measure slightly different ways. Okay. And the beta hydroxybutyrate, or BHB, is measured in millimolars, right? I don't even know what a Mueller is. But
What went through my head when you said that? Mueller.
okay, it's either millimolars or millimolars. I don't even really know how to pronounce it right, but it's some scientific mumbo jumbo. It's basically the same number that they use for glucose when you're testing your glucose through your blood. Okay. It's the same conversion, right? But after you're done using the beta hydroxybutyrate, one of the byproducts is acetone that you breathe out, right? I like using the breath meters because it tells you actually how many ketones you have used instead of how much is available to be used. I want to know how much I've actually used. Okay. And then on the contrast, the urine sticks, they measure acetoacetate, which is actually the byproduct of ketones that have not been used.
Oh,
Okay. So you got your millimolars, your BHB, your beta hydroxybutyrate. That is how much is available to be used. Okay. Well, what's your efficiency to use them, right?
right.
Um,
Hmm.
you could have, a gallon of gas, but if you're pouring half of it down the drain, you know, which is essentially what the acetoacetate is in your urine. So with the different meters, because the science isn't as accurate as it is for like blood glucose, you can't actually say this is how, this is it. Okay. Um, but if you're using the same meter and you're using it all the time, right, you can judge how your body's doing based off of how that number changes. Okay.
Okay.
If your meter is saying that it's, 0.2, let's just say 0.2, and for your meter, that shows that you're in ketosis. Okay. And you eat something new, right? And later on that day or the next day, you're now in 0.08 or 0.05. It doesn't matter if if those numbers are accurate. They're accurate to you because
Got it.
we started at the baseline of 0.2 and we know it went down. So we know that what you ate, making sure that everything else is the same, which is why
Right.
we only test one food at a time. That went down. Okay.
Okay.
So we know that food may be something that we want to stay away from, or, eat every once in a while, or maybe eat less of, there's a lot of
Right.
different things that we do with that information. Right. And on the contrast, if we're starting at a baseline of 0.2, right, and you eat something and it goes up, it's like, oh, okay, that's a good one. Maybe, I could eat this more often, make it more of a daily staple, right? So yeah, that's why we measure. Okay. Not necessarily to see how much into keto we are, or how, those numbers, higher number doesn't mean that you're burning more fat. Okay. A higher number really doesn't mean much at all. Okay. Except when we're testing a new food, right? If we eat something new, that number goes up, it means that food is triggering our body to create or produce more ketones, which means we have more energy available to use.
Okay.
Okay. That's it.
So, is it a good idea to keep a journal then?
You can, if that's going to help you. For sure, if that's going to help you. You're going to hear me say this phrase a lot. It depends. Okay. It depends on you. Okay. Like I said, this is your system. This is your keto journey. I'm here to facilitate. I'm here to help steer you in the right direction. I'm here to help analyze the data. I'm here to help you extrapolate the information from that data to help make sure that you're going in the right direction.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
That is my job. Okay. To make sure that you work your keto journey, not mine, not his, not hers. Okay. Yours. Because that's the only way this works.
Right.
It's the only way it works on the long term. Okay. I've been doing this for 2 years, right? And it's amazing how many people I have talked to that say, oh no, my doctor said only do that for 6 months and then you have to get off of it. Like, why?
Right.
And then the thing is yeah. But then I talk to them and I find out that they were working somebody else's system.
Right.
I will never give somebody a meal plan. Okay. I'll offer out recipes and stuff, right? But not saying that this is good and you should eat this. No, here's an option. Okay. I put out videos about things that I do. That doesn't mean it's something that you should or have to do. Your body is different to my body as our fingerprints are different.
All right.
You know?
Well, it's the same with CBD too. CBD is, people respond to it differently. So I get that. I understand that.
And that's the thing. Our bodies all react to different things differently. You know? Here, I mean, everybody's already seen me, you know, take a couple of swigs of this. It's an energy drink. Okay. I've been drinking energy drinks for 25 years, right? This has 300 milligrams of caffeine in it. I drink 2 of them.
If I did that, I would be like binging off the walls.
This is also sweetened with sucralose.
Oh, it is?
Okay. Yeah. Sucralose does absolutely nothing to me. Nothing. Oh. Nothing at all. Tink, who I'm training as a keto chieftain, that's what I'm calling my other coaches. Her glucose levels do spike a little bit with sucralose, which it shouldn't, because the glycemic index of sucralose is super low. But her body, because she is still fairly new in her keto journey too, you know, her pancreas probably hasn't healed to the point that mine has after 2 years of doing this. You know, my other client out in Florida, Connie, who you know, finally got to the point of health to where her body actually took a pregnancy. You know, she's pregnant. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, she was she's, I think, 5'4", 5'5", and she was 317 pounds when she started working with me. And her fasting blood sugar was regularly in the 2s, 3s, 400s. Like, that's coma level, right?
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah. She is off of all of her diabetes medicine now, and her type 2 diabetes is now diagnosed as managed with diet and exercise.
She's amazing.
She's lost 50 pounds, and she was able to get pregnant. You know?
That's great.
And you know, when she let me know that, I started researching doing keto while pregnant. And you can absolutely do keto while you're pregnant. You know, you have to increase some of the vegetables that, you know, you have to adjust your macros, you know, because it is more important that you're getting more nutrients, which means that you have to get more of the vegetables in, which could increase your carb target, right? But again, if it's, you know, high quality vegetables that are really nutrient dense, like spinach and kale and broccoli, you don't really count those carbs anyway. I mean, spinach is something that don't count the carbs in spinach. Don't count the carbs in spinach or avocado. Okay. Just don't do it, because the benefits of those and the dietary fiber in both of them, and avocado. So all of the carbs in spinach, if you don't cook the spinach, is dietary fiber. And it's some of the best dietary fiber that you could have. Your body will not break that down into glucose. If it does, I would still say that those carbs are well worth it. Same thing with avocado. Avocado is an unbelievable source of monounsaturated fat. It's a great source of soluble dietary fiber, which actually helps protect your gut from carbs that you do eat. Just phenomenal, right? Things that I'm having Connie do are very different than the things that I have Tink do, which would be very different than the things that I do, and very different from the things that I have you do. I'm healthier than I've ever been right now. I'm still 245, somewhere around there. I don't get on the scale all the time. Last week I got down to 244, but then I started working out and doing some other things, and it went back up to 250, and then I've done some fasting. So, I mean, I play around a lot because, especially with my YouTube channel, and just the fact that I'm not going to recommend anything to anybody unless I have tested it out myself, right?
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I am actually gearing up and testing different ways to get ready for a multiple day block fast, with my ultimate goal of doing a 72-hour fast.
Wow.
Right. So that's actually going to, you know, fluctuate the number on the scale a whole lot. Right. But I'm comfortable saying I am somewhere between 240 and 250. Okay. I have 170 pounds of muscle on me.
Wow.
This is going to affect me a whole hell of a lot less than somebody who has a lot less muscle.
Right.
Okay.
And that's the other thing with doing so much work. I was walking almost 4 miles a day. So that hasn't happened since probably March 15th. So do you recommend that people exercise?
Of course.
Okay.
So here's the reason why. Okay. The program that you're on with me, when you're ready, we can meet in person if you want, and I could go over some exercise stuff for you that you know, and we can even talk about it right now if you'd like.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, when we're talking about exercise, first thing I need to know is injuries, pain points, medical conditions, stuff like that.
I do not have any medical conditions that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I don't, because I started CBD a couple years ago. I really don't have any. You know, when you're 63, you start to have aches and pains from all the stuff you did when you were younger.
Yeah.
I don't have any of that. So it's like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not on any medications. The only thing I'm taking right now is my CBD, and I do have a spray that's keto that has that BHB in it. Is that what you called it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
artificial beta hydroxybutyrate.
Yes.
I have a love-hate relationship with those.
Okay. Well, yeah. I it's pretty natural. I mean,
no. Yeah, absolutely. So here's the thing. Remember when I said that the number of ketones that you have in your body do not equate to how much fat you're burning?
Right.
All you're doing by putting artificial ketones in your system is inflating that number.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what it does help me with? Like about
probably energy and mental clarity.
Yes, that's what it does. Because I was starting to get hungry, because usually I don't eat till 1 or 2 in the afternoon. That's just, I don't know why, but because I usually put caffeine coffee in the morning. I use MCT and ghee. Just I put a little bit in there. Usually I'll have a cup of tea about an hour later and do the same thing. But today I didn't, and then I was like, this is the first day I've really concentrated on my office being back and no company here. So I was like just going at it, and I'm like, oh man, I'm hungry. My brain's starting to fade. So I just grabbed my keto spray and took 8 sprays, and I was like, okay, now I can take some more.
Yeah. And you know what? At first, that actually might help you get through what's called the keto flu. Okay. And the keto flu is a real thing. It happens when your liver flushes all of its stuff out. Okay. When it flushes its water, with that water, it does your sodium, your magnesium, and your potassium, your electrolytes.
Oh, yeah.
So are you familiar with the keto flu? Have you read?
I didn't get it when I first started either. So
that's excellent, right?
If I felt a little brain fog or like I needed electrolytes, I just used Himalayan salt and put it under my tongue and slammed a glass of water. So
that's excellent. Pickle juice is amazing.
No, I can't do it. I have a friend that gave me a recipe for electrolyte slushy, but I've never tried it. It's like lemon juice and salt and water and some other stuff. I'll have to pull it out.
What a lot of people, so salt is super important. Super important. Any type of misgivings you have in your brain about adding salt to food or getting too much salt, or salt's going to give you a heart attack, that's all bullshit, especially on the keto diet. On the keto diet, when you're eating foods that are conducive to being in a ketogenic metabolism, you need salt, but you also need potassium. You also need magnesium. Okay. It's all 3 of those that help facilitate getting the water that you drink into your cells. Okay. not only that, they help facilitate getting the ketones into your cells and actually delivering the ketones to your mitochondria that actually combust them for energy. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So I don't like telling people to take supplements. Supplements, your body just doesn't use them as well. Okay. So adding salt to your food is absolutely good. And the Himalayan pink salt is arguably the best out there, especially if you get a good source of it. Okay. But eating a lot of spinach and kale and the leafy green vegetables will also give you your magnesium and your potassium.
Okay.
Surprisingly enough, spinach actually almost has as much potassium per serving as a banana.
Wow. How much you got to eat this much?
No. One cup. One cup.
Oh, 1 cup.
Yeah, one cup of uncooked spinach is a serving.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and it has more iron than almost anything. You know, that's the whole
iron. I didn't know it had potassium.
Yeah, no. So spinach has almost 90% of the micronutrients that you need, or at least the non-fat or the water soluble nutrients, right? And then the rest of your nutrients are fat soluble, so you need to eat fat in order to get that. If you're doing this right, you don't need supplements. Okay. If you're eating a good variety of food, okay, a lot of people get stuck in eating the same thing over and over and over again because it's easy and they know it works. Okay.
I like to cook, so
I did that. I did that for like 3 months. I had like all of like 4 food items.
Right.
Well, but that was
I
when I
like
started
to cook,
too.
and so I make a lot of something and I'll eat it for 3 or 4 days, but then I change it up. So
I gotcha. Yeah, and that's good. That's exactly what you need. So your gut biome, it's very much reliant on a variety of food, and your gut biome is kind of nearly as important as your brain health.
Right.
Yeah, adding that artificial BHB will definitely help with the mind fog and probably some of the energy things, because those ketones will be used as energy. It just won't help anything when it comes to actually burning fat. As we go on, as you progress through your journey, right? As we get through the keto flu, your body's healing itself. You're feeling the energy come quite naturally. I will want you to, instead of using that when you're feeling sluggish or the brain fog or anything, I'll want you to go towards a natural source of fat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Eat an avocado. Okay. This sounds to people who are not really like immersed into the keto lifestyle like I am. Okay. This is going to sound really gross, but the other night I had eaten my one meal, right? But I went out and I played volleyball for like 4 hours.
Oh, wow.
Right? Beach volleyball at Sunset Park here in Vegas. There's a group of friends
just down the street from me.
Yeah, right? So I've got a group of friends that we go out and play volleyball once a month, right? And I mean, it's crazy. So I was over 300 pounds for 20 years, okay? And now that I'm 240, 250, I still have all the muscle that I had to move around at 300 pounds. I've got 100 pounds less on me. So I move around a lot. I'm flying through the air most of the night trying to get the volleyball, I end up eating more sand than anything else,
Hey, is that keto?
Silicone. Let's see. Silicone is one of the nutrients that we need, but it's better to get it from a natural food source. But yeah, so after several hours of this, right? So it's great when you could feel this, okay? I could feel when my body switched from using the energy from what I've eaten to using my body fat.
Was it like a turbo boost?
No. So for about 20 minutes, you feel like crap because your body is like, I've got no more energy from what you've given me. Okay. Now, normally when you're on a glucose metabolism, that's when you have to eat, right? Because your blood sugar starts tanking. It goes real low. Just your whole metabolic system just starts shutting down. Okay. On a ketogenic metabolism, 20 minutes, half hour, pop right back up and you have the energy that it's crazy. And it's not like, the energy you get from, something like that. It's not that jittery. And no, it is just like, that's why I don't want to say turbo fuel, right? But it feels clean, right? Yeah. It's a clean energy that is just of abundance, right? So, I was able to be out there playing volleyball for another, 2 hours. Okay. Well, when I got home, because I was about to go out to the Millennium Fandom Bar with Tink, I'm starting to cool down. My body's, going, okay, it's time to rest and recoup a bit. My body was signaling that, okay, we're not in that specific, stress environment of expending this energy. Let's replenish some stuff. Okay. And my energy level got real low, started shaking a little bit, almost like, when you have low blood sugar. Okay. Mm-hmm. My blood sugar wasn't low. It was just my body telling me that I needed some fat.
Okay.
So I got a stick of butter and I ate it.
I love butter, but I don't know if I could eat a whole stick.
Wow. Right now, you probably couldn't. The texture, the taste, just the richness, it would be too overwhelming. Okay.
Right.
But I tell this to people when they're asking about sweet things that they could eat that are keto. And I tell them I eat 90% dark chocolate. Okay. And they're like, oh my God, oh, that's so bitter. I'm like, not to me. 90% dark chocolate is sweet. It's got that perfect level of sweetness. I could munch on it and it's amazing. Our taste buds change, right? And it's not, you say your taste buds change. Those don't change, okay? The way your brain interprets different flavors will change as the cells in your body start adapting more to using ketones, okay? Your body is such an amazing thing, and you will start craving what it needs. The thing is most bodies think they need carbs. Most bodies think they need glucose. Once we start really getting keto adapted, yeah, you're going to start craving things that you would have never even thought, and you're going to be able to eat things that you never would have thought you were going to be able to eat. I ate that stick of butter within about 20 minutes. I was good to go for another 4 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, it was great. And then I came home and I slept like a baby.
Awesome.
So for you on Monday.
Okay.
What we need to do.
Monday.
Yeah. So, and that's because that's when you're getting your meters and the scale.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The first thing you need to do is you might have to do this on Tuesday, depending on when Amazon delivers to you and you get everything all set up. Okay.
Right.
But I want you to do this before you eat. Okay. Before you eat anything. So if it has to be Tuesday's fine.
Okay.
Okay. But I want you to take your fasting blood sugar.
How do I do that? With my meter?
Yeah, with the glucose meter. Did you get a glucose meter?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you got the strips? Okay, so if you've never taken your blood glucose before, you prick your finger, you get some blood.
No, I didn't get one of those. I just got the thing you puff into.
Okay, then that's fine. So just get your base ketones.
Okay.
Okay. And get on that scale. So yeah, you know what? Do this Tuesday morning when you wake up.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, it'll probably take me a bit to get the other stuff set up.
Yeah. You know, after, you know, play around with everything on Monday. You know, the breath meter, it does take a little bit of practice to breathe into it correctly. And honestly, at this point, you're probably not going to show any ketones in your breath anyway, right? But with your breath meter, all right, so do you know how you breathe on a piece of glass to make it fog up? Yeah. Okay. But in this case, so that little, okay, that's probably what yours is going to look like if you got the one that I linked to you, right?
Okay.
But I mean, even if not, it's going to be something similar, right? So it really is that where you're trying to get your breath from all the way down here, right?
Right.
But you're blowing it into this little tiny hole, and usually you have to do it for about 10 seconds.
Okay.
Right? So let me just kind of show you real quick. All right. Mine, you have to have a countdown. It's like prepping or something, right? And for some reason, mine always shows zeros the first time, and then I have to do it a second time. And I think it's just because mine's getting a little old now. See, it shows zeros.
Yeah.
Now I have to wait for it to turn off, then do it again. The instructions for mine actually says to use the top of your breath. That doesn't make sense to me. It feels like the bottom, you know, but that's probably just the way I interpret it in my brain, right? So we're waiting. There we go. Yeah. So this particular meter says that you're in ketosis at 0.03.
And yours is 0.19.
Yeah, 0.19, right? And that's actually kind of low for me right now. Just it's getting close to the time that I would be eating. I typically only eat once a day. Usually, depends. You know, the whole 1 meal a day thing. I don't do that on purpose. Like it's not my goal. I'm only going to eat 1 meal. I only get hungry once a day. Right. So that's kind of the next thing that I want to talk to you about. Okay. How often do you normally eat?
I usually don't eat anything until about 1 or 2 in the afternoon. And then I feel like I have to eat every couple of hours until about 6 o'clock. Because if not, my time to really be hungry is in the evening. And I don't know if it's because I eat so late, my first meal so late or not. So.
Okay, so what I want you to do, me and you will go over what your kind of goal macros will be on Tuesday. Okay. So, and the reason why is I need to figure out, I need to see how much muscle you have. Okay.
Probably not much.
but it's that lean body mass. Right, and let me see if I can't pull something up here.
So that's the information I'll get from the scale and by doing my measurements, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. All right,
So for me, I think I'm going to journal. I'm going to start a journal just for this because then I can flip back and see my progress and,
Go for it. Yeah.
I don't have to try to remember.
This is going to work right now. No, and that's a great idea. So this is the way mine reads out. I don't know how yours will. Okay.
Is this your scale?
Huh? Yeah, my scale.
Is this the scale? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So right down here. So this right here is muscle mass. Okay.
Okay.
So I have 160 pounds of muscle mass.
Okay.
That means my goal every day, just to support my muscles, to support basically my body, because your muscles, like, crazy vitally important, obviously. So my goal every day is 160 grams of protein.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. You're going to want to eat the number of grams in protein that you have pounds of muscle.
Okay. So then, since I haven't known that number, there's a possibility that I've been eating too much protein, correct?
Can't really eat too much.
Oh, you can't? Okay.
I mean, you can, but it's incredibly hard. And especially if you're working towards a caloric deficit, almost impossible, right? Like,
Okay.
in order to eat too much protein, in order for the amount of protein that you eat to affect your keto levels, you'd be having to eat so much protein that your caloric intake is through the freaking roof. And I guarantee you wouldn't have any room in your body at all for anything but that meat. And you wouldn't be able to get any of the fat would come with the protein most of the time, but you wouldn't be able to get any of your good dietary fiber vegetables in, which cause all kinds of other issues later on down the line. Here's the bare basics. Bare basics of what we're doing for your goals. Now, remember, your goal is to get healthier, right? It's not to lose weight, it's to get healthier.
Okay.
Okay. The byproduct of getting healthier is you'll lose some weight. Okay. Now, one of the ways to get healthier is to help your body get into a composition that is healthier. Okay. Now, at first, we are going to aim for a caloric deficit. Okay. But not like a huge caloric deficit. So I'm going to use some theoretical numbers here. Let's say you have 80 pounds of muscle on you. Okay. That means that you're aiming for 80 grams of protein. Okay. Now you're going to want, at first, we're going to try to stay under 50 grams of total carbs. We're not counting net carbs yet.
Okay.
Unless it is the free foods that I told you about. Okay. Spinach and avocado. I eat that as much as you want. I don't want you to even count anything. Okay. In fact, those, I might want you to eat those more than what you want.
Okay.
Okay. Eat them with everything. I mean, throw guacamole on anything you want, right? So you got 80 grams of protein. You've got 50 or under grams of carbs. This is for a whole day. Okay. So far, we're only at 130 grams of food.
That's not much.
Not a lot. Okay. And it's not enough to actually sustain you. And it would put your body into a starvation mode that you're going to hold on to everything. And it's just not good. Okay. Right. So everything else that you eat is fat. Okay. The rest. So let's say you eat twice a day. Okay. So you eat around 1 o'clock because you just get hungry. And then you eat at 6 o'clock because that's family meal time. Okay. So you're going to take that 50 grams or under of carbs and that 80 grams of protein. You're going to go 40 grams of protein and roughly 25 grams of carbs at 1, 40 grams of protein and roughly 25 grams of carbs at 6. And each time you eat, I want you to supplement your meal with fat until you're full.
Okay.
Until you're satisfied, not full. Okay. Until you've gotten to the point to where you're like, okay, I'm good. Like that point where you know you could keep eating or you could stop eating and be fine. Stop eating. Okay. And what we're doing here is, at first, we're just training your body to stop eating when you're just not hungry anymore. Okay. We're training your body to start the process of converting fat into ketones. Okay. And doing this will jumpstart the process of getting into ketosis.
Oh, okay.
Only eat when you're hungry. Okay.
Okay.
Even if it's family dinner time, if you're not hungry, sit down with your family with a glass of water and enjoy that family time. You don't have to eat just because it's dinner time. Okay. If you're not hungry, don't eat. Okay. And you're also going to start recognizing when you are actually hungry too. Okay. Most of us don't know when we're hungry. Most of us just know our blood sugar is dropping. Okay. My blood sugar is regularly in the 70s. And that's when, most people say you need to go to the doctor. Okay? My blood sugar is in the 70s and I go out and play volleyball for 4 hours. Okay. When your body's not using glucose for energy, it doesn't need to have a high glucose amount in the blood. Okay. In fact, there's only one part of your body that I know of that requires glucose, and that's your red blood cells, because it's an anaerobic system. And your body will actually convert the protein that you eat into glucose to fuel the parts of your body that need glucose. But I mean, I think there might be like 3 things, and the red blood cells is the most major one, and the other ones are just kind of, everything, every part of your body, except for those like 2 or 3 things, they prefer ketones, right? So we're getting you into ketosis. We're getting your body used to using fat for energy. We're not worrying about calories yet.
Okay.
We're not worrying about anything but getting you into ketosis.
Okay. And
when you're using that meter, right, I want you to use that meter twice a day at first. Okay. Let's do 3 times a day.
Okay.
About a half hour after you wake up, before your coffee.
Okay.
Before your meal at 1 o'clock, before your first meal.
Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty.
And before bed.
Alrighty. Got it.
Okay. And that's where we're starting. Questions.
Okay. So what can I eat?
Oh yeah, that's an important one,
huh? Meat and vegetables.
Yes.
Okay.
Meat.
Basically.
Anything that grows under the ground, stay away from.
Like sweet potatoes,
carrots, radishes,
onions.
Yeah, okay. Onions. Anything that grows in the ground, any root vegetable. Okay. Stay away from at first. Some of those we will introduce in later. Okay. Some of those we will test later.
Okay.
Right. Carrots are definitely.
I love sweet potatoes.
I'm sorry.
I know. I know, but they're so yummy.
Yeah, I am a huge fan of sweet potatoes. Okay. And when I have my carb cycling days, if I'm going to a restaurant that has sweet potato fries, I will get them. Okay. Carb cycling is something that eventually you will actually need to do.
Okay.
Like anything and everything else in life, variety. One of the things that happens, and I'm kind of touching on something that we might start doing in 6 months to a year. Okay. So we're far out here, and this is definitely advanced keto, what I'm talking to you about now. Okay.
Okay.
But your body always strives for homeostasis. Okay. And homeostasis is a fancy word for normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So your body wants to be normal. Okay. Because your body is naturally lazy. It doesn't want to work. So if you're doing the exact same thing over and 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 over again, your body gets to the point where it stops working because it has gotten very, very efficient at it. Okay. Now we want this when you're starting keto. Okay. We want your body to be so efficient at creating ketones. We want your body to be so efficient at turning your body fat into energy that it does it like clockwork.
Right.
Okay. But that is the point at which we need to start throwing some curveballs at your body to keep it working, to keep it guessing, to keep it doing what your body does. It's practice, basically. Okay. This is when we start carb cycling. We take one day and we eat whatever the fuck we want.
Okay.
I have demolished a whole medium-sized pizza and the lava cake that went with it.
Oh, goodness.
Okay.
I don't think I could do that.
In one meal, of course. I'm a big guy.
I know.
Okay. When I was 350 pounds, I would demolish an extra large pizza by myself. But here's the thing, right? I have actually done that, and my ketones went up the next day.
Really?
Uh-huh.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
So what happens is your body, so what you're going to be putting your body through in the next couple of months is your body going, what, huh, ooh, huh, ooh, huh, ooh, shit. Okay. But after a few months, your body's going to start going, yep, I got that. I got that. Here you go. Okay. This is good, but it doesn't get us where we want to go.
All right.
Okay. If you want your body to have a different contour, if you want your body to have a different composition, if you want to build muscle, you have to lift weights. Right? You have to apply stress to your body, a good stress, not the emotional stress that kills us, right? Mm-hmm. Not the sustained emotional stress that keeps our cortisol levels through the roof and keeps us from accomplishing anything. No, it's targeted positive stress. Okay. And what happens is once your body gets fully keto adapted, your body has gotten to the point to where ketosis and the keto metabolism is its homeostasis. Throwing a bunch of bullshit at your body makes it go, oh, what? Oh, shit. Okay? It makes it work. Okay. It makes your liver go, shit. Right. And it has to work. And all this work that it's doing, right? It's burning more calories because your body has to work to do it, right? Mm-hmm. It's making sure that your pancreas still remembers how to create those, the insulin, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's making sure that your body still remembers how to use glucose if we're in a situation where we have to, right? And because your body is no longer used to doing it, it kicks everything into overdrive.
Oh,
Okay.
wow. Uh-huh.
And when everything gets kicked into overdrive, everything works better. Like it just, it's like a slap in the face, or it's like a bucket of cold water being thrown on you when you're asleep, right? It instantly wakes you up and everything just starts moving, right? Your heart
Mm-hmm.
starts pounding, your adrenal glands are going. And doing that strategically, I do it once or twice a month right now. Okay. Again, I've been doing this for 2 years, right? So I need to make sure that you and everybody else that I talk to understand that this isn't something that you're going to be doing in the next 6 months, and doing it twice a month like I do isn't something that you're going to be doing in the next year.
Yeah.
Okay. But it will get to the point to where if you're out and about and you're at a party, right, and you want that one glass of wine, it'll be okay.
Right.
Right? Um, the way I tell everybody is, we didn't get to the point where we are overnight, you know,
Right.
um, from
It's a
getting that.
marathon.
Yeah. And
Not
the
a
thing
race.
is the keto metabolism, the keto diet, this keto lifestyle, right? It is one of the most efficient ways to get your health back. It is one of the most efficient ways to get your life back. Okay. I obviously stand by it very, very strongly.
Right.
But yeah, it's not overnight, and it's not a fad diet, and it's not something that you do to lose, 20 pounds so you could fit into the dress for the wedding. Okay.
I know it cracks me up, some people.
Right. If that's what you're using keto for, don't do it. You know? But yeah, if you dedicate yourself to the keto lifestyle, and specifically if you dedicate yourself to working the Drgn Keto system, which, by the way, you do get a free copy of my book once I have it completely finished, which will be the
Oh,
end of this month.
awesome.
Okay. That for the Patreon tier that you signed up for, that's one of the things. Anybody that signs up for that Patreon tier, not only do you get direct contact with me, or Tink, once she actually finishes the program that I'm putting her through, but you get a free copy of my book too, which actually goes over a
Awesome.
lot of the stuff that I'm talking to you right now.
Oh, good.
But yeah, long term, you always hear people say that you can't be in ketosis all the time. You can't be in ketosis long term, right? Yeah, I agree. Right. But I've been doing this lifestyle for 2 years. I'm healthier than I've ever been. You just get to the point to where you carb cycle every once in a while, and it's
Well,
okay.
you can probably tell when you need to do that. Am I right?
Oh yeah, like so my goal for this year is fat loss. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the weight numbers are obviously going to go down, but not nearly as much as you would think, because how do you lose fat? You build more muscle, right?
Right.
The more muscle you have, the more calories you build or burn. The more calories you burn, the more fat you burn when you're in a keto metabolism. Okay. I need to specify that. Calories burnt does not equal fat burn unless, or like, there's not a direct correlation if you're on a glucose metabolism.
Right.
Okay. There is a direct correlation to calories burned to fat burn. Now, whether or not that's your body fat that's burning, or if it's the fat that you've eaten that's burning, that depends on where you are in the day, where you are in your eating cycle. That depends on if you're intermittent fasting. I mean, it depends on a lot of different things, but a ketogenic metabolism, calories burn equals fat burn, period.
Okay.
And the more muscle you have, the more calories you're going to burn. Again, period. These are scientific facts that we know. So yeah, we started talking about exercise and got off track.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to like create an outline for these first initial meetings.
Good idea.
Yeah, I do these knowledge dumps.
Yeah. It's okay. I'm learning stuff, so that's good.
All right. So exercise. I'm actually glad that we started talking about the muscle thing, because that brought me back into where we were.
Right.
Are you familiar with the term calisthenics?
Well, yes. I grew up in the 60s. It was required in school.
I have to ask. I don't assume things, or I try not to assume things, right? So calisthenics. Calisthenics are workouts that involve your body weight, okay? Moving your body weight, moving your body around, okay? Calisthenics are going to be probably one of the best things that you could do at first.
Okay.
Okay. Squats are amazing. And the reason why is the biggest muscle in your body are your quads.
Okay.
Okay. The front of your thighs. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The bigger the muscle, the more calories it burns. So if you get your biggest muscle nice and strong, it's going to burn more calories than anything.
Okay.
And again, keto metabolism plus calorie burn equal fat burn. So in the morning, do as many squats as you can.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not going to put a number on it. Okay.
Okay.
It's going to depend on your body and your motivation level. Okay. Do as many as you can. Push yourself if you can. Okay.
Okay.
Get it to where, your legs are wobbly afterwards. Okay. If you're finding that you're doing like 50, 60, 70, do you have weights?
I don't have weights, no.
Okay. Go get a couple of really big cans out of your kitchen.
Okay.
Okay. Save some of your milk jugs, right? Do you buy like gallons of milk?
We don't drink milk.
Okay, that's fine.
No. Sorry.
No. Okay, so do you buy juices or anything that comes
water? I buy gallons of water.
Oh, okay, so you have gallons of water. That is absolutely perfect, because I was going to tell you to fill one of those things up with water. Okay. A jug in each hand.
Okay.
Do squats with a jug in each hand if you're finding that you're doing like 75 plus squats and you're still doing okay, right? So use your own judgment on how far you could push yourself. I want you to push yourself. I don't want you to hurt yourself.
Right.
Okay. Also, with those jugs of water, those are perfect for curls.
Okay.
So, and what I want you to do with your curls, right? You stand. I want you standing doing it. Okay.
Okay.
Your feet shoulder width apart. Okay. You have your jugs either here, however you're holding them. Okay. Straight down, up as far as you can, down. Now you could do this, okay, but when you do it one at a time, you end up leaning.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and you don't want to lean. So do it both at a time, right? And you want to try not to lean back to do it, because it's bad for your back. Push-ups. Can you do push-ups? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Okay. So push-ups is one of those things that I want to make sure that you have the proper form. Okay. So that will probably have to be a one-on-one thing, or an in-person thing. Okay. Sit-ups. I would rather you do crunches than full-on sit-ups, okay? And with your crunches, I don't want you to bend your back.
Okay.
Okay, so you keep your back straight, right? Let's do it this way. And I'm gonna like simulate it here, right? So you're here and you got your arms behind your head, right? You're just gonna lift up, just like try to just lift your head straight up. Okay,
Right.
don't do this.
Right.
One of my most favorite things to do for core strength, if you've got the room, right, lay down in front of a closed door that you could stick your fingers under the door.
Okay.
Do you have any doors like that? Usually closets are good like that.
No, I don't have. Maybe my bedroom door. I don't know. I'd have to look.
Okay, but you could recruit your husband, okay, and you lay down in front of him with him standing, and you grab his ankles. Okay, and you're going to lay completely flat. Okay, and imagine my arms. Yeah, so my arms are your feet. Okay. And you're going to point your toes, and you're going to lift them up.
Okay.
Keep your heels off the ground the entire time.
Okay? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Lift them up. Lift them up. Lift them up, right? And then when you get to the point to where you're comfortable, lift them to the side. Lift them to the side. Lift them to the side. Okay? And then when your core gets really good, right, you could lift them up and then pop your butt up off the ground.
Oh, okay.
Right? Okay. And then if you are working with somebody and you have their ankles, right, have them throw your feet.
Oh.
Right? Because you're bringing your feet up as high as you can. So let's say your husband's helping you, right? You're trying to kick him in the gut.
Oh.
Okay. You're keeping your legs straight, your toes pointed, right? And you're trying to kick him in the gut.
Okay.
Okay. He's going to grab your legs and try to throw them to the ground. Okay.
And you have to stop him.
And you keep your heels off the ground. So, and he's going to throw them straight off to the side, right? And you just do that. And you do that over and over and over and over again. Push yourself. Okay.
Okay.
So those are really good, not very stressful, like they're low impact. Everything that I just told you, it's low impact, and it doesn't put a lot of strain on the tendons and joints.
Okay.
Okay. We could, go over some other things later, because you do eventually want to change things up because, again, your body...
Muscle memory.
Yeah, the homeostasis, right? We want to work to homeostasis, then change everything up so we could work to homeostasis again. Okay. So those are definitely a good starting point. Couple of times a week, definitely get out there and walk. Because simple fact is, the more active you are, the faster this is all going to work.
Right.
Okay. Period. All right.
Okay.
What you can eat. Your fats. Okay. Start cooking in oils. Okay.
I use avocado oil. Is that good?
Avocado oil is perfect. Avocado oil, coconut oil, olive oil. Any nut oil. Right. nuts, your macadamia nuts, almonds, pecans, those are all great. Stay away from cashews.
Yeah, they're kind of high in carbs.
Yeah. I mean, they're super high in fat. Okay.
Right.
And it's an amazing fat, but they are higher in carbs. So I want you to think of that 50 grams of carbs. Okay. Think of it like a bank account that gets refilled to 50 every day. Okay. And your goal is to get the most value out of that 50 as you can every day. Okay. So cashews may be worth it that day because of the fat. Right. But that lollipop is probably not worth it because of how expensive that lollipop is and the fact that you're not getting anything out of it. See what I'm saying? Right. So again, or I don't even know if I mentioned this yet. You know that there's no such thing as a keto food, right? Food is food. Okay.
Food.
Yeah. Okay. There is food that helps get you into ketosis. There's food that helps maintain ketosis. There's food that helps maintain what you want to maintain. And then there's food that doesn't affect it one way or another. And then there's food that hurts being in ketosis. Okay. Hurts. The thing is if I wanted to, I could eat a piece of bread. It probably wouldn't knock me out of ketosis. Okay. It's a matter of if I want the other negative side effects of it. Okay.
All right.
But the fact that I drank a beer the other night, right? Somebody bought me a beer, didn't think about, the fact that there's so many carbs in a beer. I wasn't going to be rude.
All right.
I drank the beer because I know that I've gotten my body to the point to where I can handle it and still be in ketosis, right? And so many people out there say that's not keto. That's not keto. That's not. Well, you know what? I drank a beer and I was still in ketosis. Does that mean that beer was keto? No. So that's something to kind of keep in mind, right? Especially when you're out there on the internet and you're in different groups. I mean, I love the fact that you found me through one of the other groups that we're both a part of.
Right.
And that's why I'm in those groups. I'm always trying to learn more, but I'm also trying to make sure that the information that is out there is actually good information and not people just repeating the bad information that they were taught.
All right.
But yeah, so think of your carbs as a bank account that gets refilled. Okay. It's up to you what you spend that 50 on. Okay. I would highly recommend spending that 50 on nutrient dense, high fiber foods.
Okay.
But this is your journey. Mayonnaise. Mayonnaise is amazing. It is better if you make your own mayonnaise because soybean oil has inflammatory effects, and 99% of mayonnaise out there is made with soybean oil.
The one that I buy is made with avocado oil.
Is it solely avocado oil, or is there soybean?
If it had soybean oil or canola oil in it, I would not buy it.
Okay. So yeah, that's perfect. Mayonnaise is just like one of those like if there was a keto food, I mean, mayonnaise made with avocado oil would be like the king, right? Slather that shit on everything. If you're making chicken, ooh, this is actually really good. If you're making like chicken, right? Cover it in mayonnaise and then grind up some pork rinds, right? Get just plain salted pork rinds and use that as a breading and bake those or even fry them in a frying pan. Oh,
now you're really making me hungry.
But yeah,
I'll have to try that when I do my tenderloins next time.
Yeah, pork rinds. Pork rinds are an amazing thing. If you ever get that craving for a crunch, okay, the thing you want to stay or be careful of with pork rinds is the maltodextrin. Okay, if you get flavored pork rinds,
right,
99% of the time, it's got maltodextrin in it.
Or sugar.
Most of the time, maltodextrin. That's
right.
and maltodextrin is worse than sugar.
Right.
Okay. Maltodextrin has a glycemic index of 163 most of the time. Sugar, pure cane sugar, has a glycemic index of 80. Okay.
Wow.
So maltodextrin that has supposedly no calories, no carbs, hardly any flavor at all, it spikes your blood sugar double the amount of sugar.
That's just crazy. That's just
yeah.
And a lot of people, even that do keto, don't even know that. So I usually get the plain ones, but if I'm wanting flavored ones, I usually do the 4505 or whatever, or Epic. They're expensive, but they don't have any junk in them.
Yeah, yeah, and that's, at first I try not to overwhelm people with too many restrictions on particular ingredients when you're looking at the ingredients, because you can get into ketosis and you can start the healing process and you can get to where you need to be with eating some of this stuff.
Right.
Okay. Not maltodextrin. Maltodextrin is I started taking a multivitamin, right? And I only took the multivitamin 2 days. It was a men's one a day, right? And after 2 days, I was almost completely knocked out of ketosis, and it was because there was maltodextrin in it, almost all the way towards the bottom of the ingredient list. So I mean, we're talking trace elements of maltodextrin,
right?
But it was spiking my blood sugar because 163 on the glycemic index, right?
That's horrible.
But, yeah, I know. It's like, oh my God. And it's FDA approved,
right?
and it's okay for them to say that it's 0 carbs, 0 calories. Yeah.
Right.
How can it be 0 calories if your body converts it into glucose?
Right.
I don't
get that either.
Yeah. But all right. So pork rinds are definitely a good thing, because pork rinds can actually be used in a lot of different ways. Like any time that you would normally be using breadcrumbs, right? You could grind up pork rinds and use pork rinds instead. Stay away from the low carb tortillas for now. If you need like a wrap, something or other, there's the folio cheese wraps.
Oh, the cheese. Yeah, I have some of those in my refrigerator right now. So.
Yeah, there's also egg ones. There's actual ones that are made from egg. Again, eggs, phenomenal. Like great food. Eggs, mayonnaise, butter. Make sure you're getting real butter.
I use grass-fed butter.
Huh?
I use grass-fed butter.
Kerrygold?
Yeah.
Kerrygold is amazing. It is the best butter on the planet. All right. Have you heard of a chaffle? Make chaffles.
Okay.
Anything that you would normally use bread for, make a chaffle. Okay. Chaffles are amazing. I actually make a tuna salad, right? So I'll use tuna, mayonnaise. I'll cut up pickles, a little bit of Dijon mustard, black olives, and shaved almonds, right? And I mix that up and I put them between 2 chaffles, and I got myself a tuna sandwich. Egg salad sandwiches. mayonnaise and hard-boiled eggs between two chaffles, right? I don't know if you saw my YouTube short series on that. It's an amazing fat bomb. Like I'm talking, one sandwich has like over 100 grams of fat.
Oh wow,
it's awesome, right? It was like 100 grams of fat. Like I'm talking 4 carbs, right? 4, right? And it was like 30 grams of protein or something, like
crazy.
Yeah, it was awesome. And I actually worked out all of the macros for it, and it's somebody asked me for the macros in a comment on one of the YouTubes, the shorts, and I actually worked out all the details. But yeah, no, that's really good. Your biggest bet when you're cooking a meal for yourself is make sure you have a good quality protein. I would recommend getting higher fat proteins. Okay, so many people out there are like lean protein.
And add fat to it.
People that are keto, like people that are teaching keto or saying lean proteins. I'm like,
how does that work? Well,
and the thing is and here's the thing, right? A lot of them are also like saying that, different supplements and stuff. And a lot of the supplements that they're recommending or saying that we need, you actually get them naturally from animal fat.
Oh, wow.
So if you didn't eat all these lean proteins, maybe you wouldn't need a supplement as much.
Right.
Just my thoughts, But I mean, high quality beef, right? Like when I'm at the store and I'm looking at steaks to get, I pick the one with the most fat on it. One, that's all flavor. That is just mad flavor, right?
Right.
And it gives me the fat that I need, right? A lot of people have a hard time, like on keto, a lot of people have a hard time getting enough fat in. Okay. Because, your meats are going to be more protein than fat. That's what they're for, right? But you are still getting some fat, right? And then you're supplementing the fat already. You're already having to supplement the fat. So why buy lean beef or why buy lean anything, right? Get the stuff with that. When you buy your chicken, get the bone-in, skin-on chicken and leave that skin on there. Okay?
I love chicken skin.
Right? Oh my God.
I have an air fryer and it has a rotisserie in it. So I get these small chickens from Natural Grocer. Oh my gosh. It's amazing. You oil it up with some avocado oil and you put some seasoning on it. Oh my goodness. And it's like so good.
Something I want you to look into and think about, right? Get an actual deep fryer.
Okay. Maybe after I move.
Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, just look into it, think about it. Here's the thing with the actual deep fryers is they're more cumbersome. You have to clean them more often. They are not as convenient.
All right.
But I would take a deep fried piece of chicken over an air fried piece of chicken every single day of the week. 1, it tastes better. 2, there's more fat.
Well, you know what? I always rub all my meats with fat before I put them in the air fryer. So.
Well, because you need to. You have to, because it's the fat that gives it moisture. It's the fat that gives it flavor, right? Mm-hmm. There's a reason why fat tastes so good. We need it. Right. We're supposed to fucking have it. Okay. If you can't tell, I do cuss a lot, and I'm sorry if that offends you. Right.
You're fine. You're fine.
Okay. I mean, I'm a soldier. I was a soldier. I grew up in a house full of soldiers.
I have a son that's a soldier, so I get it.
Oh.
He was a soldier. Not anymore.
Yeah. But yeah. trying to think of other things. I mean, when it comes to what you eat, yeah, I mean,
I think I pretty much know, but what about cheese? Well, there's cheese and chaffles, so
cheese.
Is there any certain cheese that you shouldn't eat?
Well, I want you to eat cheese. I don't want you to eat highly processed cheese food stuff.
You mean like fake cheese? American cheese?
Yeah. American cheese. Yeah, American cheese, Velveeta, you know.
Yeah. I don't eat those things.
No.
You're for a long time.
Yeah, hard and soft cheeses. It doesn't matter. White cheeses are higher in fat. Yellow cheeses are higher in protein. But yes, eat the cheese. The cheese is good. Eat all the cheese. But with eating all the cheese and eating all the proteins, definitely eat all the dietary fibers.
Yes. Got it.
Made that mistake.
Or you might need a little bit of coconut oil.
More than that. No, no. I painfully learned that lesson.
Yeah, I don't have that problem with cheese.
So normally, neither do I. I've got a couple of genetic conditions that IBS is a big issue for me, and it's normally IBS-D, right? So I mean, I don't have to worry about the plugging up of the plumbing as much as other people, right?
Right.
But yeah, no. Remember when I said that I went like 3 months eating the same thing?
Oh.
It was all steak, hamburger with broccoli covered in cheese. Right? I mean, that's all I ate, right? So yeah. That hurt.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That's when I, started researching some of the other things, and I found spinach, right? Uncooked spinach. It's like in one cup, it's like 6 carbs, but it's 6 dietary fiber carbs.
Oh.
Right. And it's in spinach, it's insoluble dietary fiber, which is what helps, the plumbing. Right. Now, avocado is soluble fiber. Avocado, the soluble fiber, it helps coat your system to help prevent you from absorbing the glucose that is created from different foods that you eat. Okay.
I've seen people actually use mashed up avocado with their eggs for egg salad instead of using mayonnaise.
Why not use both?
Why not?
Why not? That sounds amazing. So the thing is yeah, I got on that use avocado instead of mayonnaise kick until I really educated myself, and I'm like, I'm using both. Yeah.
That's awesome. But yeah,
so cheese. Heavy whipping cream.
Stay away from it or use it?
No. Use it. Heavy whipping cream is a good source of fat. Almond milk.
I make my own.
Oh, cool. So yeah, I guess the unsweetened part works. Yeah. So almond milk. Silk actually makes a coconut almond milk unsweetened that is fantastic.
Really?
Yeah. You could get quarts of heavy whipping cream at Sam's Club for pretty cheap.
Yeah.
That's what I usually get.
Costco too.
Yeah, I'm sure Costco, Sam's Club, they pretty much have the same stuff, just different brands,
Right.
So I always have beef. Get the less expensive beef.
Okay.
Like ground beef. I'm talking ground beef. Get, you definitely want high quality like steak and stuff like that, right? But your ground beef, it's such a joke when you get like the lean ground beef, they're taking all the monounsaturated fat out, and you still have the same amount of saturated fat, right? And monounsaturated fat has the omega-3 fatty acids that help coat your cells and keep your cells healthy. And I mean, just in general, you're going to pay less money and get more fat. That sounds like a win-win.
It does.
You know, you get the same amount of protein, more fat, less money.
There you go.
Let's do it. You know, that's just like a little tip that I tell a lot of people. If you like kale, kale is amazing. Spinach, obviously, any of the shards, Swiss chard, radish, radish top, not radish top, I don't know, beet tops, right?
Beet greens, yeah.
Yeah, any of the greens,
like the field mixed greens. With the
that will work. I would stay away from iceberg lettuce. All it's going to do is fill you up and prevent you from eating things that actually have nutrients.
Okay.
Iceberg lettuce has no nutrients. Romaine actually doesn't have nearly as many nutrients. It's not nearly as nutrient dense as some of the other lettuces. Okay. I mean, it's better than iceberg, but like seriously, one of my staples is a spinach salad. Okay. Especially if I'm needing the dietary fiber, I'll make that will be my whole meal. So it'll be a big bowl. I'll fill it most of the way up with spinach, uncooked spinach, like the baby spinach, right? Mm-hmm. And I'll put bacon and ground beef and cheese and avocados, shaved almonds, black olives, ranch dressing, avocado salsa. You could get some really good avocado salsas out there. Hernandez makes a really good avocado salsa that works really well. And the thing is you could just load it up with all the proteins and fats and make just this amazing salad. You could get a Parmesan cheese crisps, right? That are an awesome replacement for croutons. I'm like, throw some sunflower seeds in there if you want. Sunflower seeds are pretty good. I mean, you could really make a killer freaking salad. I demolish those things. They're so good, right? And you don't have to worry about monitoring how much dressing you put in there. I just have a freaking bottle of ranch, But so those are good. Enjoy yourself. That's the thing about this is you can eat all the things that all your life you've been told you're not supposed to eat. Enjoy it, right? Okay. The more you enjoy the food you can eat, the less you're going to miss the food that you can't. Okay. And I also very much recommend not, at least for now, at least for a while, don't go for the keto alternatives to the stuff you're not supposed to eat. Okay. The keto breads, stay away from the keto breads. Are some of them okay?
I read labels.
Well, even that. Some of them are okay. Okay. From just
I haven't found one. I have not found one.
No. So I mean, a lot of them have like modified wheat, whatever, or
soy.
Yeah. But I mean, even beyond that, right? Like your low carb tortillas, right? What I've found is, especially at first, until you really kind of rewire the workings in your brain, the more you go for, even if they are scientifically solid, right? Even if you were to make your own keto alternative and the ingredients are perfect, Okay. What I find happens is when you're eating these alternative foods, your brain is going to go, oh, let's get more of those. And we'll start craving those carby things again.
Wow.
Right. And even if there was not a single carb in them. Okay.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, I recommend things like pork rinds if you miss chips. Okay. Because you'll have the crunch and everything, but it doesn't look like a chip.
Right.
Okay? It doesn't look, yeah, you get the crunch. Okay. But it's not the same as going out and getting the Quest Quest keto tortilla chips, right? Your brain is going to recognize that the sensation, the texture, and it's going to go, oh, chips, okay, we want more chips.
Have you ever heard of fat snacks for crackers?
Yeah.
They're pretty good.
First, yeah, I'm sure. At first, I wouldn't do it.
Okay.
You know, the sugar-free candies and the keto desserts and all that good stuff. At first, especially if you're somebody who has a sweet tooth, right? Kill that habit. You know, if you really like train your body to actually enjoy dark chocolate instead. Like if you have that sweet tooth, it might take a couple of weeks. It might take a couple of months, but eventually that dark chocolate will satisfy a sweet tooth.
Right.
Okay. Especially if that's the only thing that you're giving your body for that sweet tooth. Your brain is going to go, fine. You know, your brain will finally kick those old habits. Right. So the key to things, you know, at least at first, you know, and I would say at least 6 months, you know.
Okay.
And then you could start experimenting. And that's the whole thing with my system, right? The system that you're going to be going through, we're going to be testing things, right? But we're going to be testing things that I know work for most people first.
Okay.
Right. And then, you know, later on, after we've gotten you a good variety of food that you could choose from, right, we'll start getting into some of those alternative things that you could play around with every once in a while, right? You know, if you know, 6 months down the line, let's say, you know, your family wants to have a nacho night, right? And you wanted to use those Quest chips. Well, by that time, we would have experimented with those to see how your body reacts to them. Right. And we'll know if you could do it every once in a while, or if you just need to stay away from them, and your nacho night will be made with pork rinds.
I do that. It's not bad.
Fantastic. I love it. I mean, yeah, I've made nachos with pork rinds a few times.
Sometimes I'm just craving something like that. I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna do it with pork rinds.
Yeah. And something like that, that's okay. If you really have that strong craving, okay, and there's a non-laboratory made way to satisfy that craving, go for it.
Okay.
You know, but when you do that, you want to have intent. Okay. You want to make sure there's no distractions while you're preparing it. Okay. And you're focusing on it. You put your mind's energy onto what you're doing. You sit down with it in front of you. Okay. You're not snacking on it as you go. You sit down with it in front of you and you take a bite and you put your fork down and you savor it.
Okay.
Take another bite and you savor it. Okay. Make sure, one, it's worth it. Right. And putting that intent behind it will actually help satisfy the craving a whole lot more than if you just threw it together and threw it in your face.
Good point.
Yeah. Savor it, you know. If you get to the point to where you just have to have a cheat day and it's, you know, within the first couple of months, Okay. Okay. Let me know. So I know what, we're going to be working on the next day,
Right. Okay.
But I'm not going to be disappointed. I'm not going to berate you or tell you that you're bad or anything like that. This is a journey. No journey comes without hiccups.
Right.
No journey comes without a fork in the road. Okay. Look at the Lord of the Rings. Holy shit. So the biggest thing that I want to impart you with right now is be kind to yourself. I am going to be patient and I am going to be kind to you. You need to be patient and be kind to yourself. Okay.
Okay.
If you slip up, it's okay. Okay.
Okay.
When you slip up. Okay. Because it's not an if. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Everybody does.
Right.
It's okay. Make the slip up worth it. Okay. Think about it. What happened that led up to that? What can I do to help prevent the same thing from happening again? Okay. What other foods can I have around me? What other foods can I have in my kitchen? What can I maybe have in my purse when I'm out and about that would help me manage a similar situation in the future and not slip up? Okay.
Right.
Most importantly, when you slip up, enjoy it. Seriously, enjoy it. Don't beat yourself up over it because that's just going to cause an emotional cycle.
Right.
Okay. Enjoy it. It's like that forbidden fruit, or doing something that you're not supposed to do because the parents went out of town. Okay. It's okay.
Right.
You're not going to hurt yourself. Yeah. Might you take a step backwards, maybe 2 steps backwards? Sure. But 2 steps backwards on the journey of 1,000 steps, whatever.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, I'm not a keto Nazi. and you shouldn't be that to yourself either. Okay. So yeah, any other questions?
No.
All right.
Not really.
All right. So what I want you to do is on Tuesday, take your measurements, get that stuff. Okay. And I want you to send it to me.
Okay.
Right. And I'm going to need to know how tall you are too. So when you send me all that information, I will calculate our starting kind of macros that we're going to be aiming for.
Okay.
Right. And we'll go from there. And then basically what I want you to do is send me a message with just basically what you're eating when you eat.
Okay.
Okay. Obviously send me a message anytime you have any questions.
Okay.
Okay. And we should set up a weekly meeting, whether it's in person or like this. In person, I could go ahead and get things set up for us to record it because I know you're wanting to share this journey out yourself.
Right.
And yeah.
Well, in person, I would have to do, excuse me, on Mondays because my husband's home. We only have one car.
Gotcha.
So on the computer, I can do that anytime. So.
All right. So when it gets closer to each weekend, I've got a lot going on with the clubs that I run and the charity work that we're doing. Like next Saturday, my club, we're going out and handing out care packages that we created for homeless people here in Las Vegas.
Right.
We're actually going out and handing those out next Saturday. So I don't know what kind of time I'll have after that. but maybe next Sunday we could get together again just to, check in face to face.
Yeah.
Right. So I could answer any questions that you have face to face. One of the benefits of the package that you got is, this one-on-one time, however
Right.
long it takes, it's been 2 hours or 2.25 hours.
Yeah.
But then again, that's because I talk a whole lot and I need to rein that in. But yeah, definitely from this point going forward, this is definitely going to be more about you and your journey and not just keto in general. I just wanted to make sure that you had a good, solid basis of what keto really is and what it really should be.
Right.
And the difference between what you're going to see out there compared to what you signed up for.
Gotcha.
Okay?
I feel like I have a good grasp on that now.
Good.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
Yeah. Just remember, this is your journey. If you want to try something, if you have any questions, anything at all, reach out to me. If I don't know it, I will find the answer.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So what's the best way to reach you? You want me to just do Facebook Messenger? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Facebook Messenger. That's going to be the best way. I am going to be creating a Discord server for basically for you, since you're my one client right now. But for any of the other patrons of the that $100 tier, or if anybody goes with the $250 tier that you're on, I want one centralized location that's separate from the Facebook group. The Facebook group is for the people of any of the other 3 tiers on my Patreon. But for you guys, that's where you're going to have access to me and any of my other coaches, directly. I have a Discord on my phone. And I'll even, I think I actually have a how to use Discord video somewhere that I can send you if you need help with it.
Okay.
So real quick, any other questions before we call it for the night?
No, I don't have any.
All right. And that's okay. Any questions that come up, just send them to me. Okay.
Okay, I will.
All right, Tammra.
Thank you for your time.
Oh, thank you very much. You have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Okay.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.